carry the weight, but we're never alone. You fought for the flag, now fight to be heard. Your truth is a flame, we're lighting the world. Sip of the spear of veterans, rounds of old, where the brave take a stand. A round table forged by a brotherhood's hand. From the front lines of freedom we speak without fear. This is our moment. Sip of the spear of veterans, round table. And the scars from VA lines to chasing the stars. Every voice matters, every wound's real. Every shared truth helps each of us heal. We're not just a podcast, we're a mission, a tribe. A place for the warriors still learning to thrive. Tip of the spear, where the strong come to speak. Where the silent to see and the hurting find peace. From the battle-worn past to the future we steer, we rise up as one. Tip of the spear of veterans, round table. Round table. We talk through the pain, the laughs and the scars. From VA lines to chasing the stars. Every voice matters, every wound's real. Every shared truth helps each of us heal. We're not just a podcast, we're a mission, a tribe. A place for the warriors still learning to thrive. Tip of the spear, where the strong come to speak. Where the silent to see and the hurting find peace. From the battle-worn past to the future we steer, we rise up as one. Tip of the spear of veterans, round table. So here's to the ones who still carry the fight. In the darkness of day or the silence of night. We pull up a chair, you're welcome right here. Your story is power, your voice crystal clear. Tip of the spear, where the mission lives on. In the stories we tell and the bonds that are strong. For every lost soul and every brave peer, we echo their names. Tip of the spear of veterans, round table. This is your veterans roundtable. Your voice, your fight. Welcome to Tip of the Spear.
Welcome, everybody, to Tip of the Spear, June 25th, 2025. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Good, man. Getting ready to get packed up and head to the left coast for a few days before I, come back home and head to Florida for a few days, and then come back home and head up to northeast Ohio for a couple different events. So yeah, it's good. It's that time of year, man. I'm gonna be busy, and the next few Sundays, I think I'll be out of pocket. Back on Mondays, and obviously, I haven't been here the past 2 or 3, Tip of the Spear. So glad to be back with everybody here tonight.
Nice, Miss Pippa. How are you, dear?
I'm very good, thank you. I've come back from some time in Spain and France, so that's always good. And going off to a running festival in a couple of weeks' time to live in a field in Wales for a weekend. Don't ask me why. Someone said it'd be fun, so I said yes.
Nice.
Philippa,
Nice.
is it because the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane?
That's the reason why.
Oh, heck. Rich LaMonica, how are you, sir?
Doing well, all things considered.
Can't hear you. You're really low.
Doing well, all things considered.
There you go.
There you go. So you're healing? Are you healing?
Trying. I'm doing whatever I think is right. Whatever YouTube University tells me, that's what I'm doing.
I hear you. I hear you. Mr. Travis, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. It was hotter in Boston than it was in Florida. So these Bostonians freak out when it gets over 95 degrees. It's kind of funny to watch. Like, aren't you hot? I'm like, no. And in Yuma, Arizona, this is a cool day.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I know it's been hotter than all get out here in Kentucky with this humidity, and it's just like as soon as you walk out of your door at 6 o'clock in the morning, sweat starts rolling. Just walking to your vehicle, it's just like, I can't do it. I hate it. JJ, how are you, sir?
Muted.
You're muted.
Muted. Rookie mistake.
I never muted it in the first place. I don't even know what happened. No, but I'm doing great. We're getting ready to, about the next week or so, week and a half or so, get rid of the kids over to grandma's house. So we're going to get a small taste of empty nesting. Me and the wife will be here this summer. So that's going to be kind of nice.
So I get a small taste of it this week because both of my kids are at church camp. So the wife and I are home alone. Of course, she works most until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So by the time she gets home, she's ready for bed, and it's just like, hey, no fun. But it is what it is.
Out there on that grind.
Yeah, definitely. So since the last tip of the spear, a lot has happened in the world. I mean, that's putting it, lightly. What do you guys think? Are we on? Is the ceasefire going to hold, or what's going to happen?
It'll hold for now. As politics go, it depends on who wants to headline next. And forever, the taunter always gets the headline. So for a long time, it was Iran, North Korea, and then, of course, Saddam Hussein until he was eliminated. Now it's between them two and Venezuela. And whoever wants the attention is going to get the attention. And it just depends on who wants what next. And that's when things will happen again.
So, Pippa, you being across the pond over there, what's the climb, like the climate in your area?
I mean, it's overall pretty chill. We are the nation of understatement, after all. But there is concern. I mean, so it depends which news you go to. They talk about getting ready for war. They talk about, Sir Keir, our Prime Minister, being like, chill, be calm, let's just engage in diplomacy. I think, I mean, let's be honest, if you're in the military right now, you are preparing for whatever, because that's what you do anyway. So that doesn't really change. It's just where you end up going. So I think from my people who I know who are still serving, there is concern, but no more than there would be in any other situation. From a general populist point of view, most people are trying to ignore it, I think. And although we've talked about, Iran being this nuclear threat for many years, the rhetoric has never really changed beyond, they're going to have weapons in 2 years, 3 years, 2 weeks, whatever it is. So it feels a little bit like Iraq Part 2, where weapons of mass destruction were never found and we all got worked up and we all went together. So there's a little bit of that feeling going, is this just going to be another Iraq situation? But also the other feeling is we didn't start this one. They didn't attack us first. Right. It's a bit of a grey area as to how far we want to commit to, given everything else going on. And on our more home front is the Ukraine-Russia thing still going on. So mixed emotions, but essentially keep calm, carry on, have a cup of tea. It will pass over.
I like it. Yeah, I think we here in America, we get fixated. Like if you like MSNBC, then that's who you watch. You don't watch any other news channels. And news is supposed to be unbiased, but here in America, it's definitely not unbiased. So it's just like some people only watch one, other people, watch the other. And then you got somebody like me that watches a little bit to none, like Gunny don't watch any news either. And it's just like, we hear it from other people. And it's just like, well, who do you believe in? It's like somebody said that Trump got elected or nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm like, for what? But, it is what it is. So it's hard to believe unless you're like somebody like Rich, who is his day-to-day, training and stuff is with the Army, or, you're across the pond and you're actually closer to it than we are here in America. So it's a whole different, I guess, kind of a whole different ball of wax, right, Rich?
Oh, it is. But I can tell you this, nothing changed status quo wise here on Fort Campbell. Dudes and dudettes are still training like they do every other day. The guys who are over there, we have guys both in the Middle East and in UCOM right now from here, and everyone here that's supposed to go replace them or trained up to be with them, they're just doing the same stuff they do all the time. It doesn't matter what's going on in the news or what's actually happening. They still, like Pippa said, they're always trying to do the thing that they raised their hands to do. So nothing has changed here.
Yeah, I was down there Monday, and they were still doing post and reliefs and change of commands and retirement ceremonies and, regular flight ops on both sides of the airport. And those who know Campbell know what I'm talking about. And nothing has changed, right? There was no urgent anything. It was business as usual, as Fort Campbell usually is. There was no sense of urgency for anything. There was no big spin up of, air alert or any of that stuff happening. So it's whatever. Willis, he wanted to talk about it last week. I'm like, that's a one-sided conversation because I could care less, honestly. I don't pay attention to the news. I don't know what. We dropped a bomb. He's like 3. I'm like, oh, okay, we dropped 3, right?
Dropped 30.
I get it. It doesn't affect my life anymore because I'm not deploying. And if I stay glued to the friggin' news, I'm going to be miserable all the time. I'd rather be on a boat fishing.
So Doc here says, did we not destroy the reactors in the bombings? Your opinions, please. I have mine. I'm not for sure. I haven't really paid attention to the reports that have came out. I've seen memes, but there's a Lego meme that says it says Iraq and it says no assembly required, and it's just a bunch of rubble. But I don't know. I haven't paid attention enough. Has anybody else heard anything?
As with the other questions we just had, it's anyone's game. Whoever spins it the best. None of us. I know I can't analyze an explosion from underground from where I sit to tell you what happened. And there's going to be 8 million pontiffs out there that'll say they can analyze based on this puff of smoke that came out. That means only one line broke or 2 lines broke. So he's lying and he's talking. It doesn't matter if he's lying. The fact is that they flew 36 hours. Those airmen flew 36 hours round trip from Missouri to there, dropped 30 bombs, came on home, microwaving pizzas in the planes while the Navy shot Tomahawks in there. That's the facts, that we attacked them from as far away as possible and came home. That's the only things we know for sure. Everything else, it's up for debate.
Yep. Until somebody from here gets boots on the ground and does an analysis of everything, we're not going to know.
Yep.
And any media coming out of there is tightly restricted anyway.
Right.
So everything going to get to us is what they want us to get to us at this stage.
Right. Yeah, everything's tight-lipped right now. So we got Mr. Josh, Unapologetic Veterans, in the chat. He said, I'm with Gunny. I'd rather be fishing than watch the news.
Yep.
And then Miss Andrea from We P3, We the People podcast. Just give them a big shout out there. Oh, man. So
what's everybody else got going on since Willis is dragging? What's everybody else been up to going on for the past month? I mean, obviously we've been having our shows, Sunday and Monday when I'm here. But yeah, I mean, just business as usual on my end for sure. Anything else? Got any special going on? I know Pippa just got back from vacation or a holiday, and
Travis has been doing some cool stuff. I've been seeing him posted. Why don't you tell us about that stuff, Travis?
Well, I just want to close the loop on the prior discussion. I'm a minority, but I'm like, my problem that's nagging me is, was Iran at this time a strategic imminent threat to the United States? Now, it's are they sponsors of terror? Yes. Are they the base for Hamas and Hezbollah? Absolutely. Have they caused trouble before? Sure. Do I favor the Ayatollah's regime right now? I mean, if you go back to the 70s and 60s and what Iran was versus what it is now, it's a sad story. But something just nags me that at this time we parked subs out in the middle of the Mediterranean and pretty much fired at will with in complete impunity. So they have no way to really, unless they do make a nuke and get it out of the country, to affect us at a strategic level at this time. And I'm like, why did we strike them now, especially with the stuff going on in Ukraine and especially with the situation in Taiwan? It's just nagging me. And so I have that feeling. And then I had the feeling like, wait a minute, they flew 3 B-2s from Missouri with escorts, refueling to that area, executed the mission, and came back without a scratch. And no one's talking about this. I'll say this again, is the subs in the Mediterranean just popped up, launched the Tomahawks, and went right back down, and no one knew they were there. So if you're China right now thinking you're going to just be able to walk over Taiwan without so much as a fight from us, I think they got a wake-up call that it might be a different reality. But I still can't get my head around why we did this. And I'm just, right now, I'm very concerned that this is scope creep to pull us into a boots-on-the-ground conflict where there's no real winner except for the military-industrial complex. And I say that because it feels like I was there on the TV watching General Colin Powell tell us those objects were WMDs, and they were buried MiGs. And the information he had told him those were WMDs, and they weren't. And so I have some skepticism balanced with some like, man, we can get you anywhere on this planet we want to if we want to bad enough. And that's how I feel about it. I'm very like conflicted, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm a little bit older. I don't know if I'm smarter or wiser, but that's just how I feel right now.
So I don't disagree. And I'm not a conspiracy theory person, so I have to caveat before I say this. But if you look at history, these kind of events happen for a number of reasons. One is to deter from something else internal. Something's going wrong inside, let's start a war. The second one is opportunity. Now, Mr. Netanyahu in Israel has started this fight anyway. We can ride on the back of it and get something in there. And the third one is, does it send a message elsewhere? And to your point, Travis, it could actually be any one of those three or all of those three. But does knowing why make a difference to how you react to it?
It'd be helpful. I mean, I don't want to be like rah. I mean, and I'm pro America all the way. Everybody knows that. But also I'm like, wait a minute, we've done this before. Those are WMDs buried there. Oh yeah, they were 30-year-old MiGs that they hadn't unearthed yet. And we got hoodwinked. And Colin Powell took that to his grave. So I just don't want to get too excited right now.
On the WMD, I can tell you the British side of that story if you're interested.
Absolutely.
So as you know, I was in the intelligence corps, so we do dodgy stuff. What happened with the WMDs on our end was there was a report that was written at a very low level that said there could be WMD. Now, what then happened was what I call the Soviet Union effect, where it got passed up the chain. And as it got passed up the chain, it went from could be to there is. And as a result of that, we completely changed how we do our reporting. We have a thing called a probability yardstick, which has percentages and it has exact language now. But back then, essentially, the story that I was told was it just got passed up so many chains and amended and edited so many times. By the time it got to the very top, there was certainty that they were there.
I could see that happening. Because it's like, I whisper something in Sam's ear, and he whispers something in your ear, and by the time it gets to JJ, it's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to also look at our history too, where the past presidents have said you have until X day to do something or we're coming in, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing when you watch any satellite footage of any team going in to investigate or inspect a nuclear site, and you see trucks moving, the week or two prior to the date that those inspectors are coming in. Yeah. And the same thing with this WMD stuff. You watch footage and satellite footage the month leading up to the U.S. going into Iraq, why is there so many convoys going into Syria? Right? So we don't know what's on those trucks or in those convoys, right? So there's just so many things out there. And I can speak from experience that we went to go into a town south of Abu Ghraib prison, and we let, unfortunately, our Army counterpart know that we were going in, and they put it to the media. We went there and found nothing. A month later, they went back in and found a ton of stuff because they didn't tell the Army counterpart that was linking it to the media.
Yeah, that stuff happens all the time, though. And that's
I mean,
another
even
thing.
here. I mean, when you even here in the States, when you if the police says, "Hey, we're going to go do a raid in this place at this time," they're going to find nothing, but they just pop in on a warrant, right? Announce themselves unexpectedly, they're going to find stuff.
Yeah,
it's there's no difference. But again, Travis, why we did it now, I have no freaking clue.
No, I don't know, and I can't change it. But just it's bothered me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah,
haven't quite put it there. So anyway, on to lighter stuff. Let's see here. Last month, wow. In Rewind, I'll start with the highlights. You know, DW and I did this thing with Cav Arts. Where we got on and we did this overview about podcasting and veterans podcasting. And I don't know about you, David, but I thought it was very well received. I thought, like, wow, you know, these are people who really want to take their whatever they're doing, whether it's artwork or even business or their painting, yoga, whatever, and try to tell a narrative story about that through, you know, the podcast medium. I thought it was really cool. And you know, it was, you know, different questions that we were asked about, you know, equipment and techniques and purpose and all that stuff. I thought, you know, the Cav Arts people really did a good job hosting us and making that available to us. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, David.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. So I reached out to Cav Arts a while back, over a year and a half. So this was something that we've been working on for a really long time. And Cav Arts is Challenge America Veterans and Arts Program is what Cav Arts is. And they didn't have a spot for podcasting. So when I reached out to Megan Natali, who is wonderful, if you ever get to meet her, she and I was talking with her, and she's like, yes, we want to do this because it had something that she wanted to do. And so we started doing that, and we had our first live. I think it was June 4th or something? I forget. But anyway, we did a live within there. It was Travis, myself, who else was on there? Megan and somebody else.
Ty?
Was it Ty? I think it was Ty. I can't remember. I think it was Ty. And the people that came in there, I mean, we had, I think at one time we had like 60 people in there asking questions. And it was ranging from what type of camera, what type of microphone. Do you use a soundboard, or do you use your cell phone? You know, they were genuinely asking questions, and I had a great time doing it. We have to schedule another one. Speaking of that, Travis, so we can do another live within the Cav Arts community as well. And we need to upload some stuff too. So we definitely need to get that. But no, I had a great time.
It's just really cool because, you know, one of the things I was asked about was, what was it like when you started? And, you know, I told people I would go to a podcast meetup 9 years ago, you know, whether it's 20 people or 100 people there. I was the only veteran there. And I'd be lucky if anybody said hello to me, much less, you know, receive me warmly. And now you can go to a lot of these things, and we are starting to become truly what I want us to become is a true category on these podcast platforms. I don't know about you all, and I'm trying to. The guy who does Blueberry is supposedly a Navy veteran, and I'm like, I gotta get with him and see about getting a military or veteran, you know, category on Apple or Spotify or even Blueberry, because I think that is what is missing to move our, you know, community forward, because there are a lot more of us now. just with things like this and other things and the feed spot, they're all over the place, and I love it because these stories are being told. People are connecting and sharing information now. We've got people across the pond, aka Philippa here, joining with us. It's growing, and so doing this is just I can't wait to see what the next 10 years is going to turn out like. We could have our own TV channel at the rate we're going. So I think these things are cool to support, and I hope to see more of them.
Yeah, for sure. I love the direction that it's going. When I started 2.5 years ago, I was kind of blind. I was like, what am I going to do? And then luckily, I met Rich and I met other veteran podcasters. I met you, Travis, and you guys kind of steered me in the right direction. And I just love the knowledge that you guys have given me. And then now we get to pass it down to the newer veteran podcasters that are starting, like Triple Threat. When they first started, I gave them advice, which is awesome. And getting to do that, we're definitely growing within the podcast realm, which is what I love. So, Rich, I lost my train of thought there.
Updates? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Yeah, updates. There we go.
I'm reading your mind. I had to go to my Marine calendar and see what the word was, and I got it.
Yes, I didn't have my crowns today.
I was selected to do a speech for a Podmatch. It's kind of like a TEDx talk. It's called Podcasting Made Easy, and I'm doing about a 10-minute speech with them on how to interview, the art of interviewing, and that'll be sometime in the near future. I've already recorded. They accepted it. They just got to give me the date for when it comes out. And I'll definitely share that with you guys. So that's a good thing. I put out another LinkedIn article today on veteran transitions and things affecting veterans. Had a great interview with a retired 11 Zulu today. Awesome dude. Has a dive shop, and I sent that picture to you guys of what's in his office. As soon as I walked in, I started laughing, and that just made the interview very easy. But I'm doing an interview with him because I'm trying to put an article into Psychology Today about the psychology that goes behind what happens when we transition and what happens to our brothers and sisters as they go through. And hopefully that comes out within the next few 6 weeks, hopefully.
Heck yeah. How's your thesis coming?
I have an interview at 7 p.m., so I'll have to drop off here soon. And I have another one on Tuesday, so hopefully I keep them coming in a lot quicker than this so I can finish before I become 80.
Right.
No, I'd be interested to read that or whatever medium you're putting it out in. I think that's going to be very interesting that you've gone through the process of finding out all the information about that, and you're going to put it all together.
I can't wait till I can share it with the world.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to ask you questions about it. That's going to be an exciting thing that's going to come out. You don't want to put anything out on social media early.
Right. Don't want to chase the eggs. I guess chickens before they hatch, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't want to catch your chickens before they're hatched.
That's the one right there. And then Flo Rida will be here next week on Fort Campbell.
Nice.
I picked the wrong week to deliver bourbon then.
Yeah. I could have came to my office. I'm right where he's going to play.
Oh, dang. Heck yeah. JJ, what do you got going on, buddy?
Well, recently I started a networking group with business people, and I now, I've had a couple other shows that I wasn't, I've been doing them for a couple of years actually that I haven't published on Spotify and all of that. So I've been working to get all those published and backdate a little bit and just do that. But so I've been boosting my podcasting platforms and giving myself more work to do, and moving forward, I think that all that stuff is going to turn into a lot of great connections. So that's really about all that's going on in my world right now.
I hear you there. Hey, the dogs are barking and somebody's knocking on the door. I'll be right back, and y'all run the show real quick.
Okay. No pressure.
All right, we got it. I thought it was my dogs. I was looking all over.
So where'd he take off to? I pulled my headsets off real quick.
Said something. Hey, his dogs were barking. Someone's at the door.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I'm friends with everybody on Facebook, but the past month, we've released 2 different bourbons through Jay Mattingly. One of them is the Mogadishu Mile Blend. We had 6 or 7 current and former Night Stalkers come in and do the blend, to include Mike Durant, who was the pilot that was shot down and taken prisoner during the Battle of Mogadishu.
Wow.
So a portion of the proceeds this year will go to the Night Stalker Association, and then to the Skydive Team's nonprofit Blue Skies for the Guys and Gals Warrior Foundation to benefit wounded veterans, Gold Star families, and families of fallen first responders. And then the Three Rangers Foundation, obviously, they allowed us to actually have a Mogadishu Mile here in Kentucky. So we always give a portion of the proceeds back to them. And then we also did a Warriors Honor Cruise. It used to be called Purple Heart Cruise, and then they changed it to Combat Wounded Cruise. And then the founders, after 10 years, are like, hey, we want to be done. And then a bunch of the guys that have been on the cruise multiple times, either they had their cruise paid for, they paid for it themselves, stepped up and said, we want to continue this mission. So they changed it to Warriors Honor Cruise, and the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds will go to that. And then we did a blend last Monday for the Skydive Team. That will be released July 26th, I think, is when we're releasing that. And then the proceeds from that will go to the Skydive Team to help provide performances for nonprofits that can't afford it, the full price, or can't afford it at all. But yeah, we had a great time. We delivered Monday. We delivered, I don't know, 20 something bottles down to the guys that came in and took part in the blend. And I was in and out of there in less than an hour. That community seems to be on time, or a little bit early. So, but no, it's been a great month for me. And then, obviously, the skydive stuff is coming up, and made a visit to the Purple Heart Hall of Honor with my service dog, because we're on display there, and they've wanted to meet her since they opened the new section up in Newburgh. So we took a trip up there last weekend and spent an hour or so, and then made the trip home. So now I'm getting ready to actually have to work for the next couple months, I guess.
That go bag going.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Night Stalkers, a lot of the ones I work with here, I never know that they have uniform. They're always in civilian clothes and hanging out.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell which ones are still in and not still in.
Yep. That's for sure.
How long did it take you to do all the different blends?
So it depends. So Jay Mattingly deals with it's all single barrel bourbon that you can come in and taste and put your blend together. The hardest part is getting the people together to come in at the same day, same time to do the blend. And then the label now has to be approved through the federal government. And, you have to get the letters of the permission letters to use their logos. That way, there's nothing on the back end that says, hey, we didn't give them permission. Now they have the proof that, hey, by the way, they did give us permission to use that. But it depends. The logo takes the longest. I know when we just did ours last Monday, it was 6 of us, and we tasted 7 barrels or 8 barrels. And then we're like, we like the cherry flavor here. We like the butterscotch flavor here. We like the nut that's in this one. But we like the little bit of burn that's here. So, and then you take the percentages of, okay, we definitely want this barrel here for sure. This barrel is it. So you do your 4-barrel, 5-barrel blend, whatever it may be. And you're like, man, that's really good, but there's a little too much heat on it. And so they'll pull 10% out of that heat barrel, like the cinnamon, and then pull 10% from a different barrel. And it's crazy, but I think we were in and out of there. We started at 9, and I think we were done by 11:30 with, this is the blend we want for sure. And then it was, designing the label, picking the bottle, picking the wax color that we want on there. And each one's different. Like all the Night Stalker ones have this tri-blend in it, but no two are the same. This is purple, by the way. It's more like an LSU purple. But they're all purple and yellow to resemble the actual Purple Heart medal with, the purple and George's face on there. And they may change it up next year. I think we're going to try to get a lighter purple wax with the white, because that's the color of the ribbon on the Purple Heart. But, and that's it. Just, the label design, how many do you want, your price point, how much do you want to come back to the organization? But they have a guy, Todd, that's in charge down there that handles all the military commemorative bottles. So it's easier now, because especially me, this is my 3rd year doing the Mogadishu Mile. So I know the process. So it's easier for me now to talk to the guys and prep the guys and be like, hey, this is how it works, and this is what we're doing. So before we even went in there, we knew what we wanted for wax. We had our label complete. And then it was just figuring out the blend and the flavors we wanted.
Super cool. It's not something we do in the UK. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe you come over and you can go in and do your own bottle.
Man, I'm making whiskey. I'm going fishing. What else I've got to do when I come over?
Yeah, no, Jay Mattingly has a great experience. You can go in there and you can do your own single bottle, just a little pint bottle, do your own blend, and they'll put together, and you'll make your own label and put it on that day and walk out the door with it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a great experience. And Willis and I went live when we did the Warrior Honor Cruise bottle, and we're going to go live on the 26th as well when we do the team bottle.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be the last time I got any US liquor was moonshine, because we were in Nashville, and my husband been watching Moonshiners on TV. He was like, we have to get this moonshine. So I think we still got it, because I think he had one sip, was like, it's going to kill me, because my husband doesn't actually drink that much. But yeah, that's the last thing we brought is moonshine back.
If you bought it in a store, it's not the real thing, though.
Yeah,
I know, but I mean,
I got the
close
thing downstairs.
Close-ish.
It's one of the guys who was on. One of the guys is on Moonshine, and I always question, like, if this is illegal, how is there a TV show about it? So it can't be that illegal, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, a couple of the guys, I can't remember who they were. They obviously made their brand legit, and they had it in all the tourist places in Nashville.
Yeah.
So my husband like, we're getting some. We're taking it home, and him and his best mate got drunk after about 3 sips.
Yeah, there are still people out there doing some good corn liquor.
Yeah.
Save some next time, Rich, when I come over. I'll find you.
Yeah, my uncle makes some good homemade wine. And what he does is he gets the bourbon barrels that have been emptied out of the distilleries, and then he puts all of his ingredients in there and let that ferment for. He's got some pumpkin that's been in there for 14 years, just sitting in the bourbon barrel, and it's just like, holy cow!
There are guys doing beer in bourbon barrels now.
Yeah. So I'm hoping one day to have a home front sit rep bourbon. I think we're going to work on getting that set up. A small run, not a big run. A small run.
Why are you going to just put the cart before the horse?
Hey, it's a dream. I can dream, right?
I know some people.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Some people. So Rich,
even if it's just pint bottles,
yeah,
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I want it affordable. I don't want it to be I don't want it to be ungodly priced. But Rich, Travis, you got any cool guests coming up on your shows?
Gotta look.
Well, tomorrow and next week, I have tomorrow is Elizabeth Dole Foundation fellow Heidi Munro. She is a U.S. Army veteran and takes care of her daughter, who's an active duty Army officer. Her daughter Vanessa got hit in a car wreck, and mom stepped in and goes to Walter Reed with Vanessa and helps her get back together. The Army has not med boarded Vanessa yet, which I thought was very odd. They are allowing her to try to get back to serviceable use, as they put it, and try to hold off med boarding her as long as possible. I'm like, that's odd. Well, she's like, Vanessa's working hard for it. And it was just something for me that highlighted that, a lot of caregivers for veterans kind of get lost in the shuffle, or, have their problems navigating the VA system as well. So that was really cool to learn about that. And then, just some really cool guests coming up, in about a month. I start my countdown to number 500, as I'm calling it, 10 years of doing this. That's hard to believe. And just a really cool experience, things like this, things like Cav Arts, other things that I've been doing the last couple of months, years are really changing the way, people look at things. And so I got that, and, some surprises on the way.
Heck yeah, I'm excited for that. How's the Abington Mustard thing going?
Matt's going great. I just interviewed one of the public affairs bigwigs at the VA. His name is Paul Corbett. You can go on YouTube and watch him. He has the sit rep, wears a scally cap, and talks about VA benefits and stuff like that. And came on and talked about, different things at the VA, there's really a move to not limit veteran services. I'm like, okay, we're going to hold you to that because, we're told in one breath, but I'm hearing things on another breath. He's like, no, we have no interest in, making veterans care harder. He understands that women are a significantly growing population of the veterans care. And he understands that, hey, if, we've got to advocate for each other, because once the Vietnam era veterans start going, it's going to accelerate that there'll be fewer and fewer veterans for the next couple of generations. So that was really cool. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm about 6 shows out from getting that for 2 years. So it's really kind of cool that way. But that's what's going on there, man.
That's awesome. Rich, who do you got coming up guest wise?
Tomorrow night I have Joshua Daniel. He's a retired Master Sergeant, United States Special Operations Command, Ranger Regiment, Special Forces, and now he's the president of Hero Games charity, which hosts Hero Games. Special Operations soldier. He loves his family and stuff, so he's doing a lot of more things. Continue to serve on this side of the fence as he's come out. And then Sunday I have Joe Stazione, a Marine vet, also big into the veteran community and such. So he's he makes sure he told me he was non-combat veteran. I said I don't care, but he's worked a lot of different jobs. Motorcycle club in Phoenix, Arizona, which turned into the biggest veteran ride in the state, and now he's working with 22 Kill and Defenders of Freedom as his key nonprofits, and he owns Prospect Hill Flag Company.
Nice. So
22 Kill still around?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have Joe scheduled, I believe, in July. Let me see. Yeah, we got him on July 28th. So we definitely got him up and running. I can't wait for that. Pippa, what about you? What do you got on your podcast coming up?
Mine isn't just veterans. So today, probably about 20 minutes ago, my latest episode drops, which is a lady who specializes in building financial wealth. So she's coming on this week. Next week, I have a lady who talks about parent-child abuse, which is obviously a bit of a darker topic. But a lot of my guests are kind of in the therapy world. I do have our very own Travis in September. That's your scheduled thing. And I have a lovely former US Marine officer, Robert Heath Sr. He's in October as well. And you guys, when I reschedule, you'll do a re-show on that recording as well. So a bit of a mix coming up, but it's all the nice things. I recorded out till Christmas, so I've got all my episodes scheduled out until December at the moment. So I'm
Nice.
just feeding them in as we go
Very
along.
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's awesome to have that many shows lined up for until Christmas. That's really good. So this Sunday we have Transcend 214, which is it's a program of the Rod Lemon Foundation, I believe is what it's called. They're coming on to talk about what they do for homeless veterans down in Alabama. And then on June 30th, on Monday, we have We Are SFH, which is Tyler and Lance. SFH means still fucking here. Tyler was blown up, and they created this brand called We Are SFH, and it's amazing. Just the story itself is phenomenal. And then we got 06 Reveille coming up on July 6th. And then From the Farm, which Adam Bird, who's in chat right now, set that up for us from the Farm. That'll go up to July 7th. So we got some pretty good shows coming up, and we're booked out to, I think we're almost done booking August right now. I'm leaving a couple dates open because my oldest kid just graduated, and I'm going to spend some time with her before she goes to college. So Gunny might be doing a show if he's available. I don't know. It depends on if he's here or not. Who knows? But we'll figure it out. So we're going to have some Sundays off in the next coming up. So
I tell you, from August to November, good luck.
yeah, right.
Football season, man. I looked at our schedule today, and we've got Iowa State. We've got, oh my gosh, UC. We have, so much, and just it's going to fill up. So then we have air shows and stuff, throughout the fall, and balloon festivals and all this other stuff. So yeah, you may be having to pull in Rich or Travis to co-host with you one night because I'm not going to be around. Travis is like, I got my own stuff going on. Don't throw me in there.
Try to.
Well, are you like part of the team or what?
Yeah, I work with a professional skydive team, so we do a lot of events, and some as one of the sole retirees that does not have a real job, like a grown-up job. My schedule is a little bit more open than the guys and girls that still have a real job.
Yeah. Gunny stays busy right now. You're the lead safety coordinator for ground.
Yeah, the ground safety guy. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty neat. Well, I know, Rich, you got to be heading out soon. I guess we can go ahead and end it for tonight because I know my wife is on her way home and she said she has to talk to me about something. So, anywho,
Oh damn!
yeah,
That's never good.
well, no. So she went out with a friend to meet a friend that just recently went through a breakup. So I'm sure it's some gossip. Nothing.
I got to hear it from my kid all the time. Like there was a juvenile stabbing today, and then another guy unalived himself in the middle of the street. And so for those that don't know, my son is a cadet with a local police department. And so he works Monday, Wednesday, Friday, basically handing out parking tickets and towing vehicles. But there are times that he is in the area and has to, do cordon off and do traffic mitigation and stuff like that. So I get to hear some of the stories when he comes home, or he'll still have his radio on. I get to hear it right from the dispatch or whatever. But yeah.
All right.
I love it. Well, let's do closing statements, and we'll start with Rich because I know he's got to jump out of here and get to his meeting.
All right, as usual, it's great seeing everyone here tonight. Tip of the spear, those in the audience, if you are feeling any down and out, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us in this circle, or take that dial 988, take option 1, or take whatever option you feel is best for you. A day tomorrow with you is way better than one without you. Until next time, I'll be on Misfit Nation Sundays, Thursdays with the Tuesday crew on Tuesday. See y'all later.
Travis, you're up, sir.
Hey, just great being here tonight. Great seeing you all, and love hearing the progress and the challenges and the victories that you all are in right now. No one fights alone. We all can, go towards the objective. Oh my God, we can all go towards the objective together. Yay! And so, with that being said, we are Oscar Mike.
Miss Pippa, you're up.
Always a wonderful pleasure to be here. Thank you as ever. I think with everything that's going on in the world, I would always focus on what you can control and try to shut out the noise of the distractions, everything else. And if that doesn't work, then always reach out to somebody who can support you.
Love it. Gunny, you're up.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. And don't let the dark days win.
Love it. Love it. Hashtag be someone stranger, guys. Listen, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So if you're out and about and you see somebody that looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, hey, how you doing? And if they give you the red flags, I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living the dream, ask the next hard question. How are you really, really doing? And be ready for that conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation, could be a 5-hour conversation. Just be ready for that conversation. I'm going to bring everybody back, and then we're going to end the show, guys. Thank you guys for coming on here and hanging out with me tonight for Tip the Spear. I can't wait for the next one on the last Wednesday of July, which will be July 30th will be the next one. So thank you guys again. Travis, we need to get together and get a scheduled with Megan to get that for Cav Arts, another live in there. So
We'll do.
But-
Good copy.
yes, sir. Other than that, guys, ladies, gents, thank you guys for coming on here and watching. Like we always say on Tip of the Spear, stay safe out there. We got your 6.